Chosen one, the wealth transfer person, recognizing your sacred connection. I ask you, chosen one, the wealth transfer person, recognizing your sacred connection.
You are the transfer person.
Now who
Proceed
are you, a
and
doctor,
claim your destiny.
a businessman,
The path is
a
yours to
worker?
walk.
Chosen one. This moment is not accidental, and this message is not finding you by chance. Something sacred has been unfolding around your life, quietly, deliberately, and with divine precision. You have felt it in the stillness, in the pauses that didn't make sense, in the strange awareness that you were being prepared for something far greater than survival. This is not about money chasing you, and it is not about you chasing wealth. This is about identity. This is about recognizing that you were never meant to wait for the wealth transfer, because in heaven's design, you are the one appointed to carry it. Anointed one. The restlessness you felt is not impatience, it is activation. The restraint you've lived under was not delay, it was consecration. Heaven has been aligning your spirit, shaping your discernment, and fortifying your heart so that when supernatural supply moves, it can trust the vessel it flows through. This calling is sacred, and it comes with responsibility, authority, and purpose-driven abundance. Chosen one, if your spirit is bearing witness right now, stay attentive. Subscribe so you remain aligned with what heaven is releasing in this season. And if this word confirms what you've already sensed, comment 777 as a sign of agreement. What you are about to hear will help you recognize your sacred connection and step fully into who you were chosen to be. Chosen one. There comes a moment when heaven stops speaking in whispers and begins pressing truth directly against your spirit. If you have felt an unusual weight lately, a seriousness settling into your decisions, a quiet urgency that refuses to let you live casually anymore, this is why. You are not drifting, you are being summoned. What is unfolding around your life is not random circumstance, and it is not delayed promise. It is divine alignment, tightening its grip. Heaven is intervening not to impress you, but to position you. And the reason it feels intense is because what is being prepared carries weight, responsibility, and consequence. Anointed one, many people misunderstand the wealth transfer because they think it begins with money. It never does. It begins with identity. Long before provision shows up in the natural, heaven reshapes the inner world of the one chosen to carry it. That is why your journey has felt different from those around you. While others chased comfort, you were pressed into character. While others sought speed, you were forced into patience. While others were loud about their dreams, yours were kept quiet, protected, almost hidden. This was not punishment. This was preparation. Heaven does not rush resources toward a vessel that has not yet learned restraint. I want to speak to you not just as someone delivering a prophetic word, but as someone who has walked through seasons where nothing made sense on paper. There were times in my own life when opportunities seemed just out of reach, when provision arrived only at the last possible moment, when I wondered why ease seemed to favor everyone else but me. Looking back, I can see now that God was teaching me something priceless. He was teaching me how to hold abundance without being ruled by it, how to hear His voice without needing external confirmation, how to stay grounded when everything around me felt unstable. At the time, it felt like lack. In truth, it was training. Chosen one. The same pattern is present in your life. You have been learning how to function in uncertainty without losing your faith. You have been learning how to remain generous in spirit, even when resources were tight. You have been learning discernment, especially when something looked good but felt wrong in your spirit. These are not small lessons, these are qualifications. Heaven is meticulous about who it entrusts with influence, provision, and authority. Money moves easily, integrity does not. Resources can be replaced, character cannot. There is a reason Scripture speaks of appointed times of seasons where vision waits until the right moment to speak. Divine timing is not slow, it is precise, and precision often feels like delay to the human mind. But what is happening now is that the waiting season is losing its hold, not because you demanded answers, but because you matured quietly. Something shifted when you stopped asking, "When will it happen?" and started asking, "Who am I becoming?" That shift is everything. Heaven responds to alignment faster than it responds to effort. Anointed One, I need you to hear this clearly. The wealth transfer you are approaching is not a reward for suffering. It is a response to stewardship. Heaven has been watching how you handle pressure, how you treat people who cannot help you, how you speak when no one is applauding. It has been observing your private decisions, not your public declarations. That is why what is coming will not arrive with chaos. It will arrive with clarity. You may still feel awe, even trembling, but there will be peace underneath it. True divine provision carries peace as its signature. There were moments when you felt separated from people you loved, moments when familiar spaces no longer fit, moments when conversations felt shallow and unfulfilling. This isolation was not abandonment, it was insulation. God often pulls the wealth transfer person away from noise because noise distorts discernment. When resources increase, so does influence. When influence increases, so does spiritual responsibility. You cannot carry that while being constantly drained by voices that do not understand your calling. Heaven simplified your environment to strengthen your focus. Chosen One. You are not imagining the shift. The way you think about money, success, and purpose has been changing. You no longer fantasize about escape. You think about impact. You no longer crave applause. You crave alignment. You no longer want quick wins. You want sustainable fruit. That is evidence that the transfer is near. God does not release kingdom resources into childish mindsets. He releases them into mature ones, those who understand that wealth is a tool, not a trophy. Let me be honest with you. There is a moment when provision increases that exposes everything unresolved inside you. Fear rises. Old doubts try to resurface. Questions like, "What if I lose it?" or "What if I fail?" begin to whisper. I faced that moment myself. When doors finally opened, I realized the blessing itself was not the hardest part. The hardest part was trusting that I was ready to hold it. That is why God deals with your inner world first. He would rather slow the blessing than risk breaking the vessel. Anointed One, heaven is not just preparing to bless you. Heaven is preparing to trust you. That distinction changes everything. Trust implies responsibility. Trust implies expectation. Trust implies that what flows to you will be stewarded with wisdom, humility, and obedience. This is why you cannot compare your journey to anyone else's. Their timeline is irrelevant. Their calling is different. Their preparation may not require what yours requires. You were built for something specific, and specificity demands precision. If your spirit feels heavy right now, it is not because something is wrong. It is because something is close. Weight precedes transfer. Gravity increases before elevation. The same God who taught you how to endure without complaining is now teaching you how to receive without fear. Both require surrender. Both require trust. Both require you to release control and let heaven lead. Chosen One, take a breath and let this settle. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not overlooked. You are standing at the edge of recognition, not from people, but from heaven. And when heaven recognizes a vessel as ready, things begin to move quickly, quietly, and decisively. Stay anchored. Stay obedient. Stay humble. What is aligning now will make sense later. And when it does, you will see that every silent season had purpose, and every delay was mercy. Chosen one. There is a reason your spirit has grown sensitive in this season. You notice shifts before they happen. You sense when conversations are misaligned, when opportunities carry hidden weight, when timing feels off, even if logic says move. This is not anxiety. This is discernment being sharpened. Heaven does not prepare the wealth transfer person by making life louder. It prepares them by making their inner hearing clearer. You are being trained to recognize alignment before manifestation, because what is coming cannot be managed by impulse. It must be stewarded by wisdom. Anointed. Many people imagine divine elevation as sudden visibility, but heaven often elevates inwardly, long before anything changes outwardly. That is why you have been revisiting old beliefs about money, success, and worth. You have been forced to confront subtle agreements you did not know you made in earlier seasons, agreements with scarcity, with self-doubt, with the idea that abundance always comes with loss. God is breaking those contracts gently but firmly, not by flooding your life with money immediately, but by reordering your relationship with trust. Wealth without trust fractures the soul. Heaven refuses to fracture you. I remember a season when I finally had access to opportunities I once prayed for, and instead of celebration, I felt exposed. Not because the doors were wrong, but because they revealed places in me that still needed healing. I had to learn that divine provision does not erase insecurity, it illuminates it. That was uncomfortable, but it was necessary. Chosen one. God is sparing you that shock by doing the internal work first. The questions you have been wrestling with, the nights you felt stretched emotionally, the moments you chose restraint instead of reaction, those were not delays. They were safeguards. There is a principle woven throughout Scripture that many overlook: increase follows order. Not external order, but inner order. When your priorities align, when your motives settle, when your identity stabilizes, provision responds naturally. That is why your life may have felt like it was being reorganized against your will. Relationships shifted, desires changed. What once excited you no longer holds power. This is not loss. This is refinement. Heaven is clearing space for what cannot coexist with old attachments. Chosen one. The wealth transfer person is often misunderstood because they do not look hungry for money. They look focused, they look selective, they look unbothered by trends. That calm is not indifference, it is clarity. You are learning that desperation repels divine flow while trust invites it. This is why God has been teaching you how to rest without becoming passive, how to wait without becoming stagnant, how to move without forcing doors. That balance is rare. That balance is costly. That balance is why you were chosen. Anointed one. I need to address something gently but truthfully. There have been moments when you questioned whether you were missing opportunities, whether your caution was actually fear, whether your slow pace meant you lacked ambition. I have been there. I know how confusing it feels to watch others move fast while you feel held back by an invisible hand. But here is the truth heaven taught me: speed impresses people, but alignment impresses God, and alignment always outlasts speed. Many of the doors you were protected from would have drained you, compromised you, or tied you to systems that could not sustain your calling. This is why discernment has become your greatest asset. You do not rush agreements. You feel before you decide. You sense atmospheres. You notice when something requires you to shrink or perform. That awareness is not weakness. It is authority forming quietly. Heaven is teaching you how to say no without guilt and yes without fear. Both are necessary when wealth begins to move through your life. Chosen one, let me speak plainly. Money amplifies whatever it touches. It magnifies generosity or greed, humility or pride, peace or anxiety. God is not interested in giving you something that will expose you prematurely. He is interested in giving you something that will confirm who you have become. That is why your preparation has been emotional, spiritual, and relational, not just practical. You have been learning how to handle silence, how to endure misunderstanding, how to remain grounded when affirmation is absent. Those lessons are invisible to others, but they are visible to heaven. There were days when you felt tired of being strong, tired of being the one who holds things together, tired of carrying vision without immediate evidence. I know that weight. I know what it feels like to wonder if obedience is costing more than it is giving. But what you could not see then is that strength was being deposited, not drained. Endurance was being built, not wasted. You were learning how to stand without leaning on external validation. That stability will matter when provision increases and voices multiply. Anointed one. The wealth transfer does not arrive as chaos. It arrives as responsibility. It asks questions like, can I trust you with this? And will you remain anchored when your environment changes? That is why heaven has been testing your responses to small increases, subtle opportunities, quiet favor. How you handled those moments revealed readiness more than any public declaration ever could. You passed tests you did not know were tests. You chose integrity when compromise would have been easier. Heaven noticed. There is also a reason your prayer life has shifted. You no longer beg. You align. You no longer plead for provision. You ask for clarity. That transition is significant. It signals maturity. It signals that you understand partnership rather than dependency. God does not fund panic. He funds purpose. And purpose requires agreement, not pressure. Chosen one, hear this carefully. The isolation you experienced was not meant to break you. It was meant to detox you. Certain attachments could not survive the level you are approaching. Certain conversations would have diluted your focus. Certain influences would have shaped your decisions subtly but dangerously. Heaven removed them not because they were evil, but because they were incompatible with what is coming. That pruning was mercy. I want you to take a moment and recognize how far you have come internally. The way you respond to stress has changed. The way you view time has shifted. The way you define success has matured. These are not accidental developments. They are evidence that the wealth transfer is no longer theoretical. It is relational. Heaven is building trust with you, and when trust is established, movement follows. Anointed ones, stay attentive in this season, not anxious. Attentive. The guidance you receive may come quietly through intuition, through a pause, through a sense of peace or restraint. Honor it. Do not override it for speed or approval. Alignment is your protection. What is meant for you will not require you to betray your spirit to receive it. Chosen one. The sacred connection you are recognizing now is not just between you and provision. It is between you and purpose. Wealth will follow that connection naturally because heaven always funds what it authors. Remain steady, remain surrendered. You are closer than you realize, and what is forming now will support what is coming without crushing you. Chosen one, there is a shift that happens before destiny becomes visible, and it takes place in the mind long before it ever touches the hands. This is the stage many people fail to recognize because it does not feel dramatic. It feels internal, quiet, confrontational. You begin to notice thoughts you used to tolerate no longer sit comfortably in your spirit. Ideas about money, worth, limitation, and timing start surfacing, not to torment you, but to be uprooted. Heaven is not changing your circumstances yet because it is changing your agreement. And agreement is everything. Anointed One's scarcity is not just about lack of resources. It is a way of thinking that whispers you must rush, hoard, compete, or compromise to survive. Destiny does not function under that mindset. Kingdom provision does not respond to panic. That is why God has been slowing your reactions and stretching your patience. You are learning how to sit with uncertainty without letting fear dictate your decisions. This is not passivity. This is mastery. You are being trained to move from impulse to instruction, from anxiety to alignment. I remember a season when I had to confront how deeply scarcity had shaped my thinking, even though I believed in abundance spiritually. I trusted God, but I still felt the need to control outcomes. I prayed, but I also panicked. I spoke faith, but my inner dialogue was filled with contingency plans, rooted in fear. God began dismantling that in me gently but firmly. Opportunities came that required trust, not strategy. Moments arose where I had to choose peace over control. That process was uncomfortable, but it was liberating. Chosen one, you are in that same territory now. There is a reason heaven often speaks of renewing the mind before releasing inheritance. What you cannot imagine yourself holding you will unconsciously repel. What you believe you must struggle to keep you will never fully enjoy. God is teaching you how to receive without gripping, how to steward without fear of loss, how to trust that provision does not disappear the moment you exhale. That trust is not naive. It is mature. It is rooted in relationship, not circumstance. Chosen one, notice how your desires have been purified. You no longer want wealth to prove something. You want it to serve something. You no longer fantasize about escape from your life. You think about expansion of impact within it. That shift is profound. It signals that your identity is no longer tied to what you lack, but to who you are becoming. Heaven always responds to that posture. When purpose becomes clearer than pain, alignment accelerates. Anointed one. There is also a paradox. God has been teaching you one that feels contradictory to the natural mind. You are learning how to hold humility and confidence at the same time. Humility that keeps you teachable, and confidence that keeps you from shrinking. Many people swing between arrogance and insecurity because they have not learned this balance. You are learning it slowly, sometimes painfully, but thoroughly. You no longer need to announce your readiness. You embody it quietly. That quiet confidence is dangerous to fear and irresistible to favor. You may have noticed that you are less reactive to comparison. Other people's success does not sting the way it once did. Their timelines no longer make you anxious. This is not apathy. This is trust settling into your nervous system. You are beginning to understand that what is meant for you cannot be taken, rushed, or replaced. That understanding frees you from the exhausting cycle of self-measurement. And when comparison loses its grip, clarity takes its place. Chosen one. God has also been dismantling subtle beliefs about suffering and reward. Somewhere along the way, many people internalize the idea that blessing must hurt to be legitimate, that ease is suspicious, that rest means laziness. Heaven is correcting that distortion in you. Divine provision does not always arrive through exhaustion. Sometimes it arrives through obedience that feels simple, even obvious in hindsight. God is teaching you not to over-spiritualize struggle or romanticize hardship. Preparation does not mean perpetual pain. It means readiness. I want to speak honestly here. There were moments when you felt guilty for wanting more, even though your desire was not rooted in greed. You questioned whether ambition was spiritual, whether expansion was allowed, whether rest was earned. Those questions were not sinful. They were invitations. God has been inviting you to redefine prosperity through His lens, not through survival patterns you inherited or observed. Prosperity in the kingdom is about capacity. Capacity to give, to sustain, to influence, to build, to heal. You are being expanded internally so that capacity can grow without overwhelming you. Anointed One, pay attention to how your daily habits have been shifting. You guard your time more carefully. You are selective about what you consume mentally and emotionally. You feel the cost of distraction more acutely. This is not rigidity. This is stewardship developing. Before God entrusts resources, He entrusts responsibility in small forms: time, focus, energy, attention. You are proving faithful in those areas, often without applause. That faithfulness is speaking loudly in the unseen. There is also a deeper surrender happening, one that does not announce itself. You are releasing the need to know how everything will unfold. You still plan, but you do not obsess. You still dream, but you do not demand timelines. That surrender is not resignation. It is confidence in God's character. It says, I trust you not just with outcomes, but with process. Few people reach that place honestly. Many claim it verbally, but resist it practically. You are living it, sometimes trembling, but still obedient. Chosen One, understand this. The wealth transfer is not just a financial shift. It is a relational shift between you and God. It requires intimacy, listening, and trust. Money moves quickly. Alignment takes time. Heaven prioritizes alignment every time. That is why your journey could not be rushed. That is why shortcuts were blocked. That is why certain doors closed even when they looked promising. God was protecting the version of you that could carry what is coming without losing your soul. I have learned that God often answers prayers in layers. First, He answers the prayer beneath the prayer. You asked for provision, and He gave you perspective. You asked for breakthrough, and He gave you boundaries. You asked for elevation, and He gave you endurance. At the time, those answers felt incomplete. Now you can see they were foundational. Without them, the blessing itself would have become a burden. Anointed One. The mindset shift you are undergoing is irreversible. Once you see from this vantage point, you cannot return to old patterns without discomfort. That is a gift. It keeps you aligned. It keeps you sensitive. It keeps you dependent on wisdom rather than adrenaline. God is not preparing you for a moment of wealth. He is preparing you for a lifetime of stewardship. Chosen One, let your mind settle into this truth. You are not behind. You are not hesitant. You are not missing out. You are transitioning from survival thinking to destiny thinking. And destiny thinking moves differently. It waits when necessary. It acts when instructed. It rests without guilt. It advances without panic. This is the mind that can carry sacred provision without being consumed by it. Stay present in this stage. Do not rush through it. What is being established internally will support everything that manifests externally. Heaven is not just changing what you have. It is changing how you hold it. Chosen One. There is a moment when preparation gives way to motion, and it rarely arrives with noise. Supernatural supply does not announce itself with spectacle. It reveals itself through alignment that feels almost effortless compared to the seasons that came before. You begin to notice that what once required strain now flows with less resistance. Conversations open doors, ideas connect to provision. Timing aligns without you forcing it. This is not coincidence. This is culmination. Heaven is responding to what has already been settled within you. Anointed One, many expect divine provision to arrive like a rescue. In truth, it arrives like a partnership. God does not rush in to compensate for chaos. He He moves through order that has already been established. That is why your life has felt quieter, steadier, more grounded lately. You are not losing momentum. You are gaining stability. The supernatural supply you are stepping into is not fragile. It does not require you to protect it through anxiety. It rests on covenant, not circumstance. I want to ground this in lived reality, not theory. I remember the first time provision came to me in a way I could not explain logically. It did not arrive with fireworks. It arrived through clarity. A decision I had delayed suddenly felt obvious. A connection I had dismissed resurfaced at the exact right moment. What struck me most was not the money itself, but the peace attached to it. There was no scramble, no fear of loss, no sense of what if this disappears. That peace was the confirmation. Chosen one, that same peace will mark what comes to you. If it comes with panic, it is not the transfer. If it comes with alignment, it is. Supernatural supply often appears ordinary on the surface. A contract, an idea, an introduction, a shift in role. But what makes it divine is not how it looks, but how it lands. It lands without forcing you to compromise your values. It lands without pulling you away from your spiritual center. It lands without demanding you abandon what God has already established in you. That is how you will recognize it. Heaven does not bless you in ways that fracture you. Chosen one. The principle of seed and harvest has been active in your life far longer than you realize. Seeds were planted in seasons you thought were unproductive. Obedience when no one was watching. Integrity when cutting corners would have been rewarded. Generosity when you could have hoarded. Forgiveness when bitterness felt justified. Those were not moral gestures. They were spiritual investments. And now the harvest is beginning to surface in tangible form. Anointed One, understand this clearly. The wealth transfer is not just for your comfort. It is for assignment. That is why the supply will often be attached to purpose. You may notice that money begins to follow impact rather than effort. Resources gather around vision rather than ambition. This is not accidental. Heaven funds what advances its intent on the earth. When your heart aligned with that intent, provision began seeking you out rather than the other way around. There is also a subtle test that accompanies supernatural supply, one that few talk about openly. It tests your posture, not your faith. Will you cling or will you steward? Will you rush ahead or remain attentive? Will you credit yourself or remain grateful? I faced this test personally. When increase came, I had to resist the urge to secure it through control. God reminded me that what He gives, He sustains. My responsibility was not to grip tighter, but to listen more closely. That shift preserved both my peace and the provision. Chosen one, you are learning how to receive without guilt. That is important. Many people sabotage blessings because they believe rest must be earned through suffering or that ease is suspicious. Heaven is dismantling that lie in you. Supernatural supply often feels lighter than expected because it is not fueled by striving. It is fueled by obedience. And obedience, when aligned, does not exhaust the soul. You may also notice that as provision begins to move, your discernment becomes even more critical. Not every opportunity that appears is part of the transfer. Some are distractions dressed as acceleration. Heaven is not just increasing your resources, it is increasing your perception. You will sense when something is premature, misaligned, or demanding too much of your spirit. Honor that. Saying no at the right time preserves the yes that matters. Anointed one. There is a reason Scripture speaks of wealth as a test wrapped in blessing. Increase exposes motives quickly. It reveals whether you are anchored in identity or intoxicated by access. God has been fortifying your inner life so that when exposure comes, it confirms maturity rather than insecurity. You have already learned how to stand without applause. That lesson will protect you when attention increases. There is also a communal aspect to what is unfolding. The wealth transfer does not isolate you. It connects you, but it connects you to the right people at the right altitude. You may notice new relationships forming naturally without networking or manipulation. These connections will feel mutual, not transactional. They will recognize your value without you having to perform for it. That is alignment. Heaven orchestrates partnerships that support calling, not ego. Chosen one, let me say this plainly. What is coming to you will require wisdom more than effort, strategy more than speed, listening more than talking. You are not being asked to hustle harder. You are being asked to stay surrendered, to remain teachable, to keep your spirit clean and your motives clear. That posture keeps the flow open. I want to address fear directly. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of responsibility. These fears often surface right before provision increases. They are not prophetic. They are residual echoes of old survival patterns. You are not stepping into something you cannot handle. You are stepping into something you have been prepared for quietly, thoroughly, and intentionally. Trust the preparation. Trust the process. Trust the God who shaped you before supplying you. Anointed one, you may feel moments of awe, even disbelief. That is normal. Let it turn into gratitude, not hesitation. Gratitude keeps you open. Hesitation can stall momentum. Receive with humility and clarity. You are not taking something from heaven. You are partnering with it. Chosen one. The supernatural supply moving toward you is not meant to replace God in your life. It is meant to reveal Him as faithful. It will confirm what your spirit already knows, that obedience was not wasted, restraint was not foolish, and waiting was not in vain. What manifests now will carry the signature of heaven because it was shaped by heaven long before it reached you. Remain attentive, remain grounded. What is unfolding is sacred, and you are walking into it with eyes open and spirit anchored. Chosen one. When heaven begins to trust you with increase, it also begins to invite you into a deeper level of purpose. This is where many misunderstand the wealth transfer. They assume the story ends when provision arrives, but in truth, that is where responsibility begins. What flows into your life now is not meant to stop with you. It is meant to move through you, shaping environments, restoring people, and establishing things that will outlast your lifetime. This is the stage where prosperity matures into legacy. Anointed one. You may have already sensed this shift. The thought of abundance no longer excites you for what it can buy, but for what it can build. You think about stability, not status, impact, not image. You find yourself asking deeper questions, not just how much, but why and who will this help? That is not coincidence. That is the mark of a steward. Heaven does not entrust influence to those who only think about themselves. It entrusts it to those who understand that resources are answers to prayers they may never hear. I want to speak from experience here, not theory. There was a point in my journey when I realized that the most challenging part of increase was not managing money, but managing meaning. Suddenly, decisions carried more weight. Choices affected more people. Silence mattered. Integrity mattered. I had to learn that leadership is not about control, but about alignment. The higher the responsibility, the quieter the ego must become. Chosen one, you are being invited into that same awareness now. This is why God has been refining your motives so carefully. He has not just been preparing you to receive wealth, but to carry authority without becoming hardened, to hold influence without becoming distant, to bless others without losing yourself. That balance is rare. It is learned through seasons of humility, where no one claps, no one affirms, and obedience feels unseen. You have walked through those seasons. They were not wasted, they were necessary. Chosen one legacy does not begin when people remember your name. It begins when your decisions quietly make room for others to rise. The wealth transfer person understands this instinctively. You feel responsibility for spaces you occupy. You care about the tone you set, the atmosphere you bring, the standard you uphold. This is why you cannot move recklessly. Your life carries influence even when you are not trying to lead. Heaven has noticed that. Anointed one, there is also a shift happening in how you view people. You no longer see them as competition or obstacles. You see them as assignments, connections, or confirmations. You understand that some are meant to walk with you, some are meant to learn from you, and some are meant to be blessed through you from a distance. That clarity protects your heart. It keeps you from resentment. It keeps you from comparison. It allows generosity to flow without attachment. There is a principle woven through spiritual wisdom that few embrace fully. Impact requires structure. Passion alone cannot sustain purpose. Vision alone cannot steward provision. God has been teaching you structure quietly. Boundaries, systems, order. You may have resisted it at first, thinking structure would limit your freedom. In truth, it multiplies it. Structure is what allows blessing to last. Chaos consumes even the greatest opportunities. Heaven is building something durable through you. Chosen one, let me address something sensitive but important. As influence and provision increase, so does visibility in the spiritual realm. This does not mean you should be afraid. It means you should be anchored. Opposition often intensifies not because you are weak, but because you are effective. The pressure you feel at times is not proof that something is wrong. It is confirmation that something is working. What matters is how you respond. Do not retreat. Do not overreact. Stay rooted. I learned this the hard way. There were moments when success attracted resistance I was not prepared for emotionally. Criticism felt sharper. Misunderstanding felt heavier. I had to learn that not every attack deserves a response, and not every distraction deserves attention. God taught me to protect my peace as fiercely as I protected my purpose. Chosen one, that lesson will serve you well. Peace is not passive, it is strategic. Anointed one. The legacy you are building will not be measured only in finances. It will be measured in stability you bring to others, in hope you restore, in systems you establish that continue working long after you move on. You may never see the full impact of your obedience. That is okay. Legacy is not about visibility. It is about faithfulness. You are also learning how to give without depletion. This is crucial. Many people burn out because they give from emotion rather than from alignment. God has been teaching you how to give from overflow, not from obligation. To bless without rescuing, to support without enabling. That wisdom protects both you and those you serve. It keeps the flow healthy. Chosen one. There will be moments when you are tempted to shrink back to keep things small because growth feels demanding. Resist that temptation. Growth does not require you to lose your soul. It requires you to trust God more deeply. You are not meant to manage this calling alone. Partnership with heaven is what sustains it. Stay prayerful, not pressured. Stay attentive, not anxious. Anointed one. I want you to understand something deeply. The legacy you are stepping into was not born in this season. It was seeded generations ago. You are the interruption to patterns of lack, fear, and limitation that ran before you. Your obedience is rewriting narratives you did not create. That is why the weight feels generational. That is why the responsibility feels larger than personal ambition. You are not just building for yourself. You are building for those who come after you. There will be days when the responsibility feels heavy. On those days, remember this: heaven chose you because heaven trusts you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing to listen, willing to learn, willing to surrender, willing to stay aligned when it would be easier to drift. That willingness is your greatest qualification. Chosen one, let your heart remain soft as your influence grows. Let your spirit remain humble as your reach expands. Let your dependence on God deepen as your resources increase. These are not contradictions, they are safeguards. The wealth transfer person does not harden with success, they mature with it. As you walk forward, remember that impact is not always loud. Legacy is not always visible. Much of what you are building will unfold quietly through consistency, integrity, and presence. Trust that. Stay faithful in the small, even as the large unfolds. Heaven sees it all. What you are stepping into now is not an ending. It is a continuation of obedience expressed in a new form. And as you remain aligned, surrendered, and attentive, the legacy you build will speak long after the moment passes. Chosen one. There comes a final inner crossing where everything you have learned must be lived without rehearsal. This is the place where surrender becomes daily practice, not a dramatic moment. Heaven does not ask you to prove anything here. It asks you to remain yielded. What you are stepping into now requires consistency of spirit more than intensity of emotion. The wealth transfer does not stay with those who visit alignment occasionally. It rests with those who abide there. Anointed one, you are learning that true authority is quiet. It does not announce itself or demand agreement. It is recognized by fruit. The way you move through pressure has changed. You no longer panic when plans shift. You adjust. You no longer collapse when resistance appears. You discern. This steadiness is not natural temperament. It is cultivated trust. God has been teaching you how to stand without theatrics, how to walk without rushing, how to lead without dominating. This posture sustains what is coming. I want to speak candidly about something many never say out loud. There is a loneliness that can accompany calling even in seasons of abundance. Not because you lack people, but because few can see from your vantage point. I have felt it. Moments when success did not feel celebratory, but sobering. Moments when gratitude outweighed excitement. That loneliness is not isolation. It is consecration. It keeps your spirit clean. It keeps your listening sharp. It reminds you that your source has not changed even though your surroundings have. Chosen one, you will be tempted at times to substitute momentum for intimacy, to move faster because things are finally working. Resist that. What carried you here will carry you forward. Prayer does not become optional when provision increases. It becomes essential. The higher the altitude, the more you must stay oxygenated by presence. God is not impressed by speed. He is honored by obedience maintained over time. Anointed one, there will also be moments when you are misunderstood again. This may surprise you. You thought misunderstanding ended with struggle. It does not. It simply changes form. Some will misread your restraint as distance. Others will misinterpret your boundaries as pride. Stay anchored. You do not owe everyone access to your decisions. Clarity often requires privacy. Jesus himself withdrew often not because he lacked compassion, but because he understood capacity. You are learning that same wisdom. I remember learning to say less even when I knew more, to explain less even when questioned, to let results speak rather than defending my intent. That restraint preserved my peace. Chosen one. You will find that silence becomes one of your most powerful tools. Not silence born of fear, but silence rooted in confidence. It protects the work God is doing through you. There is also a rhythm you are stepping into now, one that balances work and rest without guilt. Rest is no longer recovery from burnout. It is maintenance of alignment. You understand that exhaustion clouds discernment and clarity requires space. This rhythm will protect your longevity. The wealth transfer is not a sprint. It is a stewardship marathon. Heaven is thinking generationally, not seasonally. Anointed one, watch how God begins to simplify your decisions. What once felt complex becomes clear. What once required deliberation resolves quickly. This is not because life becomes easier, but because your inner compass has been calibrated. When identity is settled, decisions lose their drama. You know what fits. You know what does not. That knowing saves time, energy, and regret. There will be invitations that appeal to ego rather than assignment. They may offer exposure without substance profit, without peace acceleration, without alignment. You will recognize them quickly, decline them without apology. Every no preserves a yes that matters. Heaven is not asking you to be everywhere. It is asking you to be effective where you are placed. Chosen one, let me address the fear of responsibility one last time. Responsibility does not mean pressure. It means partnership. You are not carrying this alone. God has never asked you to fund His will out of your strength. He supplies what He assigns. Your role is obedience. His role is provision. Keep that order clear, and the burden remains light. Anointed one, gratitude will become your anchor. Not performative gratitude, but quiet acknowledgement. When you remember where you came from, humility stays alive. When you remember who sustained you, dependence remains healthy. Gratitude keeps success from hardening the heart. It keeps the flow open. There will be moments when you look back and hardly recognize the person you used to be. Not because you became someone else, but because you shed layers that were never you. Survival strategies, defensive habits, limiting beliefs. Those layers served you once. They do not belong here. Release them with honor. They carried you to the door. They cannot walk you through it. Chosen one. The sacred connection you recognized at the beginning of this journey is now something you live within. It is not a concept anymore. It is a relationship. You feel heaven's guidance in subtle nudges, in timing that cannot be explained, in favor that feels undeserved but undeniable. This is grace expressed through alignment. As you continue forward, remember this truth above all others. You are not being elevated to escape the world. You are being positioned to serve it with clarity, integrity, and love. The wealth transfer is not an end. It is a means, a tool placed in the hands of someone who understands its weight and its purpose. Remain faithful, remain teachable, remain surrendered. Let your life speak louder than your words. Let your peace testify louder than your success. Heaven trusted you with this path because you learned how to listen before you learned how to lead. Chosen one, walk forward with reverence and confidence. What you carry is sacred. What flows through you is intentional. And as long as you stay aligned, heaven will continue to back what it began in you. Chosen one, as this moment comes to a close, let your spirit rest in what has already been confirmed. You are not standing in uncertainty. You are standing in alignment. Heaven has not merely spoken over you today, it has marked you. The sacred connection you now recognize was never forming by accident. It has been unfolding by divine design, and the transfer you've sensed is already in motion, moving through unseen channels toward its appointed manifestation. Anointed One, receive this with reverence. This is your Kairos moment, your divinely appointed time where preparation and promise meet. What God has prepared for you will not miss you, delay you, or diminish you. It will arrive with clarity, peace, and purpose. You are being trusted, positioned, and commissioned to carry what is coming with wisdom, humility, and authority. I declare over you spiritual confirmation, supernatural favor, and heaven-backed provision. May your discernment remain sharp, your heart remain surrendered, and your steps remain aligned with the flow of the anointing. Walk forward with gratitude, not fear, expectation, not pressure, knowing that what is unfolding has already been approved in the unseen. Chosen One, stay faithful, stay attentive. And if your spirit bears witness, subscribe and leave a simple sign of agreement in the comments, allowing this moment to be sealed. Go in peace, strengthened and empowered, for what is about to manifest will speak for itself.